So a very good morning, church. I pray all of us are excited. And if you're not excited, I'm telling you, get excited. Because I believe God is going to move in an amazing way today. So today, before we get into worship, I just want to go into the book of John. And I want to speak of the Samaritan woman. And as we know, the Samaritan woman was not a woman of reputation. First of all, being she was from Samaria, and that didn't have a very good reputation among the Jews. It was looked down on. Secondly, she was a woman. Women at that time were also looked down on. But more importantly, the main reason was that she was not a very righteous woman. She had 5 husbands, and the man that she was with now was not a husband. So she was not a woman where you would look and say, wow, she is a woman of God, or she was a righteous woman. But she was a woman that you would really gossip about maybe and talk behind her back and pull down. Like that kind of a woman she was. But Jesus, being so amazing, he goes to her. He meets her and he convicts her and encourages her and, tells her the truth. And she has this radical encounter with God. And then we come to the verse, which is John 4, verse 28. The woman then left her water pot, went her way into the city and said to the men, "Come, see a man who told me all things that I ever did. Could this be the Christ?" And if you skip through a few verses and you go to verse 39, and many of the Samaritans of that city believed in him because of the word of the woman who testified, "He told me all that I ever did." So isn't this amazing? That from a woman who was looked down on, who people probably gossiped about, but now after meeting Jesus, she became such an evangelist. Many people believed in him because of the word of the woman. And that tells us that Jesus just doesn't touch people, but he transforms them. He removes the labels that the world has put over us, that we have put over ourselves, and he gives us a new label, a new assignment. And this is not just for people who haven't met the Lord and then suddenly meet, but even as Christians. My mother spoke that we say yes to God, but we don't surrender everything at once. So sometimes we have these broken areas that we haven't surrendered yet, that we still hide, that it's broken. But I want to tell you that if you invite God, if you allow him to convict you, if you allow him to change you, he will change that into a testimony, all for his glory. So let's all encourage ourselves to invite Jesus into our life, invite him into the broken areas, because I know that he will transform us, because he's not just a God who touches, but a God who transforms, and he is more than able to turn any situation around. Amen.